Welcome back to VOP this morning. Before that break, we were talking about how Wike's divided attention worsening FCT insecurity, and that was from a human rights activist. Okay, let's look at this way. A human rights activist has expressed his concern and worry over the deteriorating security situation in the country and the current administration's war against corruption, among others. Thus, human rights activists attributed the security situation in the country as an inherited problem from the President Bola Tinubu's administration, citing that when Muhammad Buhari took over as president in 2015, insecurity was restricted to only Borno, very few parts of Adamawa and Yobe State, but under his watch, he exported insecurity to every part of the country. He also maintained that the failure of the government is responsible for the insecurity, and the lack of political will of both the Buhari and the Tinubu administration is responsible, because a serious government will tackle the root cause of insecurity and not be dancing around and playing to the gallery. The insecurity in FCT is getting to an unimaginable level now, and the minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, is to be blamed, because instead of focusing on his job as a cabinet member, he is preoccupied with the political tussle in Rivers State. Wike's attention is divided. He is not interested in running the FCT because he is struggling to maintain a political structure in Rivers State. He is shouting all over the place. And instead of being all over the place in FCT to secure lives and properties, he is jumping all over the place. And this was what a human rights activist said. And not just him, his name is DG Adiyanju. Not just him, a lot of Nigerians also are talking about this particular thing. We also we've known about some people that were calling for him, Nyesom Wike, to go back to River State, since that is where he wants to be, since he's been moving out. Some people have the opinion that he hasn't even stayed in FCT for some time now, that all he does is, moving to Rivers to fight the torso and come back again and all that, and he's not really giving it all to this particular thing. But anyway, the question I have this morning, because we have Mr. Akin Fatunke in the house, and also we have Mr. John Akerele in the building too, although he's joining us virtually. Yes. Okay, now the thing is this. We know that, before now, in the 1982 or 83, when a party member of NPP was, NPN was the one, the minister of FCT, I think FCT weren't having this whole issues, even when we got to the time of Muhammad Musa Bello. That was in 2015. That was on the started hearing issue of insecurity in FCT, the Federal Capital Territory. Even during that period, there was a time we heard about the attack on what's it called, the prison. The correctional facility in Kuje, where people were released. Until today, nobody has actually said we've arrested these people, arrested this person, and I don't know what is happening. And you find out that this particular time, 2024, Wike just joined. When was he appointed? Just in August last year, and this insecurity thing is increasing. I don't know. Is it going to be okay, Mr. Akin, if we say let's allow Wike go back to River State since he's being divided at areas? Or I don't know, because if you look at it more, you find out that Mr. Wike, Mr. Nyesom Wike actually is not like his mind is not there. Physically, he might be in FCT, but mentally is not there.
Right. So let me pronounce it well. Nyesom Wike, CON. I have to put that while I was doing the analysis for Rotimi Amechi, also CON. Looks like virtually everybody that is bearing the Nigerian title also has a badge of relatively political dishonor, we dare say. Having said that, I will be very frank, and I'll try my best to be balanced. It is true that what we are having in the FCT, Federal Capital Territory, is going from bad to worse in relative terms. When you compare to the, to the past, it's true. And since all of us are still thinking of the future, it means whoever is going to come in the future, hopefully, it will not be worse than what we have. But the truth must be told. The issue of security, whether in the FCT, as we should have FCT, or elsewhere, is not totally the remit of the minister. It goes beyond the minister. Yes, the minister has a role to play, but like all other ministers who may, of equal concurrence, even if you say FCT is a mayorate, it's a failure of the federal government and failure of security, pure and simple. But having said that, I also agree with you that when you are asked to man certain things and you begin to play palongo around, whether directly or indirectly, you have yourself to blame. I think, in a manner of speaking, it is true if this on Wike concentrates a little bit much more, we may have a bit of a respite, but it's not the commander-in-chief. The buck stops on the commander-in-chief's table, who has appointed ministers for security and what have you, and then the army commanders and in charge of the police. Comes back to what I have repeatedly said. The vehicle we are in is not going to take us anywhere. I also think
the vehicle being what exactly?
The constitution, the control of the police. You know, the appointment of GOCs, the appointment is just not working. We have tried the kinetic, we have tried the carrot and stick. It still has not worked. Unfortunately, again, for Wike, and that is where we are going to now begin to measure. We are having conflicting signals. He came out and said that arrests are going to be made. We hear that rescue has been made. Some people say they paid ransom. Yeah, the police say they are the ones that did it. The army said they are the ones that did it. The family says that they are to pay ransom. It's not looking good in any way. And I can tell you, a very good civilian who has his or her head properly screwed in there, can sit down like Awulo was saying, while every other person is sleeping, not jumping to Port Harcourt and then fighting Fubara and all that and looking for political relevance, can systematically try and put things together, because that's what entrepreneurship does. Looks for the best here and there, and since he has the ears of the commander-in-chief, walk up to the commander-in-chief and say, look, there are certain things that we have to do. We must try and do it to minimize. All right. To minimize.
Okay. Now, before I come to John now, my producer has put together, the name, the kidnapper that was arrested. His name is Chinaza Philip. Now, my producer has, done some research and put together the many times that name has come up in the papers, and the pictures that the police put up of this individual. Let's have those snapshots on the screen and make comparison. Chinaza Philip at a certain time was a miss. Certain time he was said to have been arrested and granted bail. Yes, this was, let's have the date of it. If you scroll up, you see, now I don't know what paper this is actually, but this was posted October 9, 2019. And then we have a 20-year-old lady, Miss Chinaza Philip, whose mother, Mrs. Chinaza Philip.
No, Chinaza Philip.
Use her bank account. Now this is one story. You might want to go to check the YouTube page of VOP to read up more. Now let's have another one. Let's have another one on the screen that has the name, the same name. All right. Is this the same? This
Yes.
is recently. Okay. Chinasa sent to Kirikiri prison. Now this was some years back. Sent to Kirikiri prison for burning Oyibo, Lagos BRT bus terminal. All right. Chinasa. If you read up this story, it has the name Chinasa Philip or Chinaza Philip. And here we are today. Arrest of Abuja notorious kidnapper Chinaza Philip. You know, with this picture, and there's another picture put up by the police as well, where he was wearing a different outfit. I saw that one on X a while back, and you know, Nigerians were saying, "What are you generating the name? Is this now? What do you make of this?" Oh well, John, let me quickly come to you now. Insecurity in Abuja, you know, it's not new. Now, the former minister of the FCT was accused of not even being present. All right, it was said to be that a lot of parts of the FCT has been in darkness due to lack of street lights, and the minister didn't do anything. But then it has been said that the northern elite were quiet about his inactivity. But now that a non-northerner is occupying that position, they are trying to make it ungovernable. That's the word on the street. That's the word on the street. Do you share this sentiment, or do you think differently? John?
Moses, I will respond to this issue in 3 different ways.
Go ahead.
And I want us to follow me critically. Way 1 is when politicians, you know, have this habit, of abnormality, so to say. And as a people, we must move beyond politicking into governance. And I think Wike should understand that politics is, you know, quite important, but governance is paramount. Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly too. Go ahead, please.
Good. Now, what Wike is doing is, once you have a divided attention, he wants to have his political structure to remain politically relevant. Of what gain is your political relevance when you are not delivering on dividends on democracy to your people? If you have sworn an oath that you will, you know, bring about security and well-being of the people of FCT, how come under your watch there is so much problem and chaos? Rather, you are disturbing a sitting governor in Rivers State. And that's why I tell people that when we don't deal with these demons who are political leaders, you will see that they will keep politicking with our lives, our livelihood, and our future as a people. They don't care about us. And that's what is even evident now. Some days ago, Moses, some people were slaughtered in a particular section of the country. And you see the governor of that state going down to Lagos and be doing Owambe. Who should be wearing black and be crying? If not the governor. But they will tell you, Moses, all they will tell you is that there's no enough money for security. But we have enough money for nonsense and frivolous trips. We have enough money to buy one car for a minister, 300 million naira. We have enough money to host different kind of banquet and bouquet at the State House. But we don't have money for critical infrastructures that will help us as a people. We are fooling ourselves. So until we come to that point, that will tell ourselves that the resources of Nigeria will be spent, you know, in that line of Nigeria where it will be for developmental purposes. Mostly some countries now are, you know, putting money in AI. Nigeria was talking about refineries at this age and time. So that's on one angle. Another angle, Moses, is the ideology that when we are not in governance, we'll make the country ungovernable for you. Somebody said that statement. If we're in power, we'll make the country ungovernable. And if you look at when that statement was uttered and the occurrences and events that followed that statement, indeed, that particular section of the country was ungovernable. Jonathan had his own bite of it. So it shows that there are some people who, if they are not the one in control, they want to make the country ungovernable. They want to make that region ungovernable by importing, militias and militants, herdsmen and the likes, just to start creating chaos. But Moses, this is it. And tó bá lórí òun máa burú, olórí ò ní gbà kó jẹ́ kó rí òun burú. What I'm saying is some people, we want to, make a mess of you. But it is you that will not allow you to be messed up.
Okay.
And that is where the angle of you taking hold of what you need to do. What should you do? The money of the state should be spent. Are you saying to me that kidnappers have high networks than the states? Moses, are you saying to me that they have more intelligence than our DSS? Please, let's not lie to ourselves, people. Are you saying a kidnapper, have more database than we, the people, than the government?
All right.
Okay.
Are we kidding ourselves?
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. John, for that. When you were talking about, when you were answering what Mr. Moses asked, you made mention of a particular people or someone saying that we are going to make the government ungovernable for you and something like that. And also we could also remember that some time ago, someone said that any insurgent or any attack that lasted for more than 24 hours and nothing actually is being done about that at the hand of the government is also in it. We've heard that statement for some time now. And then this actually brings us back to what some people are saying, that it's more like the people in FCT actually are, they have a high contributing level in this issue of insecurity in FCT. And there's some people also citing the fact that the moment the Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, stepped in, he started demolishing people's stores and so many things, confiscating bikes and destroying them without providing any other means for those people or any other means of livelihood for the people who actually took those things from. And there was the opinion that these people actually are aggrieved citizens who believe that the government just wake up and destroy all that they have. You understand? And because of that, they are looking for means or way to survive, and they had to resort to that. I don't know, is it that, the government actually, is it really true that you're contributing to this insecurity thing by not really taking into cognizance some, will I say, measures before taking actions, when it gets to the destruction of people's stores and shops. Somewhere in Guzapi and some part of Asokoro also experienced that in Abuja, in FCT itself. And some people also that they took their bikes and they destroyed. The question is it that this insecurity thing, is it that the government actually are they enjoying it? I don't know, because if they're not enjoying this insecurity, or they're not enjoying the sound of it every time in the morning.
Are you asking John? Or?
Yeah, I'm asking Mr. John.
All right.
I'm asking
Go ahead,
Mr. John Akirele.
Go ahead.
Do you think that they're enjoying the way it sound or something like that?
You see, my dear, Nigeria is like a company. It's a business enterprise, and it's for profit. If Nigeria is safe, how would you think the budget for defense will increase? How do you think that they'll be pumping more money into security? But let me say something to you that Nigeria do not understand. That when you talk about world power, world economic power today, they are countries from different continents of the world. And Africa is also a continent of the world. But how come Africa is not a world economic power today? The whole of Africa is waiting on Nigeria to rise up. And that's why when it comes to leadership, Nigerians must understand that our leadership goes beyond Nigeria alone. It's a leadership for the whole of Africa. It's a leadership for the whole of Africa. And so we should not be messing up ourselves the way we are doing. Moses, you see a Nigerian move out of the shores of this country, and when you see them wherever they are, they behave well. Why? Because there is a government in check and in place. There is no place in the world where the people, the miscreants, are more powerful than the government. Except the government itself is the miscreant. I told you before, who created the URTW? Who created the Agberos? So when there are chaos at the motor parks, who are those fighting chaos in Lagos Island, in Ikorodu, in Yanapaja, in Egbeda, in Alimosho, in Agege? Who are those? They are the same kind of people who created it. Is the government for their own selfish interest. And until all of these things are collapsed, where we have a system where you can earn according to your parastatal, you can earn according to your level of acquisition and skill, you can earn according to your level of expertise. You don't tell me now that you wake up, you don't have good education, and you are a dropout because you join politics today, you become a councillor, and overnight you become a millionaire. Where and how? Until you start asking questions, how much is your salary? How come you are driving a car of 50 million naira as a senator?
All right.
How come you are driving a car of 1 million naira as a senator? How much is your salary in a month? How come you were a poor person, but you came into politics and in the space of 4 years you became a billionaire as a governor? How much is your salary as a governor? Until we start checking all of these things, then can we now say we hold our leaders accountable?
Right.
And you see, most of the money they make illegally from these ventures spread down to all of other people, and that's the beginning of shenanigans.
Your concluding thoughts as well, John, because we're pressed for time.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Or do you have something?
In all, God bless Nigeria.
All right, then. Thank you very much. I like the way he ends with that. Thank you very much, John Akerele, a journalist and public affairs commentator.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
I'm just going to come to you, Mr. Akin. You have to also give us your concluding thought on this. But then, 2 questions in one, and of course, you just include your concluding thoughts. Some pictures were aired a few minutes ago by our producer, particularly about the Chinasa Phillips. Very different understanding. That's what those pictures gives to us, because we saw one part, one is a female and one is a male. Is that that statement from the police command in FCT? Is that a show that they are under pressure to deliver, and then they're just coming to give Nigerians what they feel Nigerians want to hear at the time? That's one. Secondly, as regarding Adeyanju's statement, particularly about the security in the FCT, what other alternative strategies and policies can the FCT start getting together to effectively manage the insecurity in that particular region? And then, of course, your concluding thoughts.
So the first one is the picture of Chinasa and all that. I was going to make a joke. In this day of AI, in this day of transgender, it could be that the guy has been changing gender here and there. But pure and simple, David, it is called incompetence. Okay, and when you want to do jiggery-pokery, what fella called them, they call blue, they do red, they can red, just to try and pull the wool over people's eyes. It's gross incompetence. Okay, pure and simple. Secondly, why I say it's incompetent, I will link it to your other question. And your other question is, what should the FCT, what kind of strategy? Simple strategy. Not going to cost you a kobo if I did. Begin to embrace the truth, tell the truth, act the truth, and act character. Nobody trusts you, whether FCT, whether Northwest, Northeast, Southwest, North Central, nobody trusts. We don't trust our government. They know we don't trust them. And when you don't trust people, one of the first things to do, again, raise your hand and say you do not know how to do it and call for help. Call for help from FinTech, for instance. Call for help elsewhere and say to yourselves, rather than just getting your soldiers to go and face the bullet that you yourself know that you have caused. Please help me, international community. Please help me, school children. Please help me by making sure me and I, like she says.
Will that put us under another indirect rule if we call for help from an international organization, seeing that Nigeria itself is a sovereign state?
Really?
Are we not?
Are we?
Are we not?
And we are dying in 1,000. What kind of sovereign state is that? I'm sorry, I have to say this. Because lives have been lost on a daily basis. What kind of sovereignty is that? It's a farce. It's a farce. We are lying to ourselves. We need help. When Mbakwe in Imo State the other time was crying and said that the colonials should come and Oh, no, that should not happen. And all that. But what are we then saying? And so, my concluding thoughts. My concluding thoughts says, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you are the one right there now. You've got to fix it. And in fixing it, starts with you. We don't trust you. Many people don't trust you. Yes, we are voted on simple majority. It's not enough. Because we don't trust you, and we begin to see that you are taking steps that make us not want to trust you, then you must do something about yourself, and do something about your family, and do something about your ministers, and tell yourself the honest truth as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. The only thing that you have right now is not about re-election. The only thing you have now is by stopping the blood flow. Go outside your political terrain to resolve the problems of Nigeria. How to resolve the problems of Nigeria rests with us. If you are capable of listening to us, make sure you convince your governors, make sure you convince the National Assembly, regurgitate, just pour it back, and let the people that will help you fight this battle have this trust and confidence that they will join you in this battle. There's so much disjoint as we speak. Low hangers, tough to be able to embrace. Right. But if only you can just embrace it. Like that guy in the Christian Bible that was asked to go to River Jordan, to go and take his bath. Say, me? No. Don't say me. Go into River Jordan. Come back to us. And let's resolve Nigeria's problems together. Bereft of politics. Then we'll be able to get there. Right, unlike my dear brother John Akirele, I will say God will help us. God has helped us. Let's help ourselves. And that's the only way. Please, let's put religion aside here now. Don't let us continue to cover it with religion and lying to ourselves. We can do it. We've done it before. We've done it outside this country. And we can do it for ourselves. Okay. But we need to have a leader. We have to have a Daniel who will take us out of the jungle. Thank you very much,
Mr. Akin Fatunke, communications consultant and a chartered accountant. Thank you for being on the program with us.
Thank you very much.
All right, then we'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll delve into business, and then we'll be followed by entertainment and sports. Stay with us.